Oh, we just beat on it and heated it up. Right there. And then beat it out. Destroyed the knot. Okay, we put the end towards the inside. We had one on the bottom like that. Or no, it was this one actually. And it's like that. And it barely fits. Like that. And then this one just sits on the bottom, kind of floats on the bottom right there. And then you put the impact on there. That one. 13/16. You might want to get some impact sockets. And I just zipped it on there. It only took like 3 seconds to zip it on there with the impact. But normally I just use the breaker bar, but the impact worked pretty good. Now I need to put the clip on there. It looks like we got enough clearance there, so. Okay, we pounded it out from. We pounded it from the bottom here. It's rusted in pretty good. Used some penetrating oil and it popped out. So originally we just popped that ball joint down and out as one piece with the spindle. Okay, there's the new piece back there. We're trying to press this spindle back on. Basically we have a second jack. So we have a jack there, 2 jack stands, and this jack is starting to compress it back on there. But once we get it on there started, we might just beat it back on from the bottom with a little sledgehammer. Okay, this is the part where you want to start breaking stuff and throwing things because you're pissed off that you forgot to put the axle in and the bottom U-joint won't go together because it's all rusty inside. Basically you can get it in there, but the stupid axle hits on the bottom of the ball joint right there. The little flange, see that flange is kind of bent. It rubs and there's barely enough clearance to get that started and the axle in there, and then you can't get it past the top of the ball joint. But so I had to take it all apart anyway to put the axle back in. Put that in first for sure, and then press this together with a jack. It slipped right in the second time, but what I did is took my little Dremel air tool and carved all the rust out of there. That's why that bolt was so hard to get out, because it was like fused in there. You should see the little C shape in there in the hole. If it's all the way in, that way you can get the bolt in there, and that's what holds it. Yeah, I think that might have helped a little bit too, stuffing the towels under there. I started like 3 bolts back there because it was flopping around. Yeah, you don't want it down under because you won't be able to get it back up. You want to get that started, put a couple bolts in there, and then stuff the towels under there to hold it up. and that did the trick. Towels, clean out that bottom of the hole where the joint goes in, and then I put a little grease too. I heated up the actual the spindle, but that's cool. It's long cooled off by now, so that didn't help any. But I cleaned it out, and it slipped right in there. So I also kind of pried that open a little bit with this. Just wanted to add these two bolts that hold the caliper cage on there and prevents this from coming off. There's a lot of weight there, so if you can get those two bolts out. I got one of them loose with the impact, but the other one's stuck, so I gave up on that. Decided to try it one more time, and sure enough, it slipped right in there. So don't forget to torque those two back down, that one and that one, if you are able to get this off, because this thing's pretty heavy. Perfect. I went a little bit too far, so you want to check underneath, look, and make sure it's sticking out, but you can see the gaps. I got the C almost perfect. I'm gonna try to pound the bolt in there now. Anyway, if you get it too far, then you can tap on it, or get the hell out of it right here to bring this whole thing back down off the joint, so you can get the bolt in there. That's how you get the top one out. You gotta use the impact. And if that turns sideways, that's okay. It keeps popping. Pop, pop, pop. Comes out, as you can see. You gotta get these discs in the right spot. That one's for the bottom, that one's for the top, and that one has a little bit of a groove so it fits into this piece. And then you just rattle on it with the impact. If you made it to this point, you've now joined the how-to club with your blue Loctite on everything. Actually, you know what? We didn't put any blue Loctite on that bad boy. We'll squirt some on there. Took my glove off just for you guys. Yeah, that sounds bad. Put some Loctite on this one. The other three, you know, we should probably mark this one so we can pop those other ones out. Put some Loctite on them. Oh, I was gonna look up the spec. There's a updated torque spec. That click, it's this E6. They're loose. They need to be retorqued. You don't have to spend $101,000 on this thing. Let's just retorque these. There it is, all back together, minus the ABS. Plugs in right there, but I tore it. So you can replace that. They're like 30 bucks. I ended up just putting a new ball joint in the top. Left the A-arm. There's brake lines right there. Get in the way of the bolts. I didn't even attempt it. Got her all back together.